Defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, in explaining why he's keeping seven-time Pro Bowl cornerback Jaylen Ramsey as a full-time free safety for a second consecutive week, made a self-deprecating joke. You want to screw somebody up? Give a coach a whole bunch of time, because we'll find some stuff to do, Austin said with a laugh. Austin explained that while Ramsey came to Pittsburgh understanding he would play safety among many spots, the Steelers were forced to admit, because of injuries, that they needed to plant Ramsey in one place in order to simplify job descriptions for all in secondary. The ploy worked as the Steelers upset the Indianapolis Colts and their league-leading offense. Ramsey made 5 solo tackles in the game, several of them hard hits that enhanced his reputation as an enforcer. So, even with the return to health of Chuck Clark, Ramsey will remain as the full-time free safety. His jobs at outside and slot cornerback have been put on hold. We'll keep Jaylen where we need to keep him, Austin said. Obviously, he did a heck of a job last week playing full-time free safety for us. Really did a good job. He can overlap, he can run, he's just a good football player. So we'll see where that leads us moving forward. What allows the Steelers to keep Ramsey out of the slot was the performance of Brandon Echols, who also made 5 tackles against the Colts, broke up a pass, and rekindled Ramsey's blitzing role with a well-timed hit on quarterback Daniel Jones that forced a third-down incompletion. The one thing we really liked about him is his competitiveness and how he approaches each day, Austin said of Echols. So we had the utmost confidence in being able to put him in full-time and being able to move Jaylen back. That's what he's shown. He's shown the ability, he competes all the time, he makes good plays, he's got good coverage, he's tough, he can really run. So he has all the attributes you like, and his temperament was in there. He just happened to be in a position where we had those guys in front of him. But he stepped up when called upon, and I anticipate he'll be able to do the same when we need him. Not every cornerback can make the move to free safety. Austin was a young intern with the Baltimore Ravens back when they moved former Steelers superstar cornerback Rod Woodson to free safety. Woodson, 34, had been a 7-time Pro Bowl cornerback, but he spent his final 5 seasons at safety, made for more Pro Bowls, and helped the Ravens win a championship. Austin said Ramsey offered no resistance to the move. "Oh, he was great," Austin said. When the conversation came up, he knew where we were at the time at safety, and he'd do anything to win. Guys like him, man, they're just football players. They just love to play ball and they love to win, and whatever you need to do to win, he's all for. And so there was no problem. There was no kickback. It was actually like, okay, hey, what do you need me to do? Let's go. While Austin and the Steelers cut down on Ramsey's versatility, they added to Peyton Wilson's in formulating a faux 4-3 alignment to help stop the Colts' running game. Wilson was joined at inside linebacker by, of course, Patrick Queen, but also Malik Harrison, who played 22 snaps as a third ILB behind the 4-man front. Austin said it wasn't a true 4-3, that Wilson was actually a strong safety in a nickel look. He's a guy that plays linebacker, Austin said, but he can do some stuff like a strong safety because he's big and he can run. That's really where that came from. We were obviously down some safeties and down some players, and he's a great kid and he understands football, and so we used him in a little bit of a hybrid role last week, and I thought he did a heck of a job in that role. MVS still big, fast. Last week, Aaron Rodgers was asked about the possibility of the Steelers signing his former Green Bay teammate of 4 seasons, wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling. "I love MVS," said Rodgers. "He's one of my favorite teammates of all time. He is a really special guy, and I think MVS can still really play." The Steelers signed Valdes-Scantling to their practice squad this week, and Rodgers said he would help him understand the offense. "He's a smart guy," Rodgers said of the friend assigned a locker next to Rodgers. "He's played a lot of football, been around a long time, been productive, so I'm sure he'll pick it up pretty quick." Offensive coordinator Arthur Smith was asked if he was excited by the newcomer's first practice with the Steelers. Valdes-Scantling, 31, is 6'4", 206 pounds, and was timed at 4.37 in his NFL Combined 40 in 2018. "Well, yeah, I think you get excited for anybody who gets an opportunity," said Smith. "There are more job opportunities now that they've expanded the practice squads, and you can put more vets on it. So a guy looking for a job gets a lot better opportunity, just like other guys have, Kushawn Williams has." When you go back to how things evolve, if an injury happens, you've got to work the bottom of that roster. However, everybody gets in the door. Even a guy that's got experience as a veteran allows you then the opportunity, and they can get acclimated. If the opportunity comes up, a role will be created. Pittsburgh Steelers tight end Connor Hayward did not practice on Thursday with a knee injury. Hayward, who has played as a fullback, tight end, and H-back this year, is the versatile extraordinaire of the team's offense. He is also a special teams ace, and his absence from the game on Sunday would be a blow to that unit, which has continued to sustain issues throughout the last few weeks. Hayward was a full participant on Wednesday before taking the dramatic step back to a non-participant. It is unknown if Hayward was dealing with the injury coming out of the team's win against the Indianapolis Colts, or if he suffered the issue in practice on Wednesday. So far this season, Hayward's biggest impact has been felt on special teams. After the team lost special teams captain Miles Killebrew and has dealt with other injury issues, such as the quad injury that Jabril Peppers suffered, it has forced the team to pivot to new players to fill those voids. Running back Trey Sermon has taken up that role now. Meanwhile, Hayward has continued to maintain a presence on all coverage teams and has become one of the better special teams players in the entire NFL as a result of that. The Pittsburgh Steelers trade deadline was relatively uneventful, a decision that came as a bit of a surprise. For a Steelers team that's one of the better in the AFC, although perhaps not among the elite, it would have made sense for the Steelers to go out and add a few players. Unfortunately, the front office decided not to do that, but it appears there were several reasons for this decision. According to the latest from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN, one of the potential issues was the Miami Dolphins and how they valued some of their players. There were reports that indicated that the Steelers were interested in Dolphins wide receiver Jaylen Waddle, who would have been one of the better players traded at the deadline. The Steelers, the Giants, and others either had interest or would have had interest if not for the steep price tag, which, depending on what team you asked, Fowler wrote, fluctuated between a first-round pick or a 1+. Some teams had a tough time getting a read on Miami's intentions at the deadline, Fowler writes, which is understandable 4 days removed from general manager Chris Grier's firing. After moving on from Chris Grier, it seemed possible that the Steelers and other teams around the league would have a chance to trade for Waddle. However, later reports suggested that the Dolphins were looking for a first-round pick and more. In the Dolphins' defense, to move on from a player like Waddle, they'd have to be blown away with an offer, despite the organization likely going into another rebuild. On the contrary, the Steelers had some work to do, and there were other players traded, including Jakobi Meyers, who they could have landed for a decent price. Just because the Dolphins didn't give the Steelers what they were looking for in terms of an asking price doesn't mean they shouldn't have made a move.